Okay, I'm here with Max Mautner of LeadGenius, and I'll start with our first question. What's LeadGenius about?
So, LeadGenius is a crowdsourced workforce service that does research and sales for business to business sales teams for clients like Google and Staples.
Great. And what is the role of crowdsourcing in this process?
Yeah, so crowdsourcing, our workers do various tasks on behalf of our clients, researching prospective customers. So, a lot of that involves manual data entry and quality assurance, and consulting our clients on how to sell.
So, one of the topics of this conference and one of the concerns of the trade union is that crowdsourcing poses a threat to jobs and to quality of existing jobs. What's LeadGenius's approach with respect to work quality?
That's a really good question. Well, for one, on a local basis, we aim and provide above median wages for our employees. A lot of work right now is going into developing software to track and justify paying our workers more. So a lot of technology is involved in improving worker efficiency and making our workers better paid.
So, I'll use that as a segue. So, it sounds to me that from a trade union perspective, there's a trade-off between collecting data to make arguments to the clients about why the clients should pay the workers more, and then protecting the autonomy of the worker from undue surveillance. How do you manage that balance?
That's a really good question. A lot of our workers, in fact, voluntarily adopt self-monitoring tools. For example, our workers who do research on data collection will take periodic snapshots of their computers to demonstrate to their managers that they are really doing the research and generating the quality data that we're paying them to do. So a lot of workers are interested in how to demonstrate just how valuable their work is. And this has happened without any instruction or management decision making, which is an impressive development.
Wow, okay. So when you pay above median, is that hourly over time, or is it per project, or how does that work?
That is currently hourly. From worker interest, we've heard a lot of workers express the desire to work fewer hours for higher pay. And one of the options we've talked about and is not in practice yet is to offer more performance-based payment. Yeah.
Is it possible for a worker to advance to a higher pay scale or move to a managerial position or somehow develop a career in the context of working for LeadGenius?
Absolutely. So we have about 600 workers, and it's a pretty hierarchical workforce in terms of what roles people have and who manages whom. But absolutely, we promote within. We have various workers who've moved up the ranks who are now working directly with our customers, like Google. So in terms of upward mobility and opportunity to earn more or work more hours, that's something that we value really highly, and one of the reasons I come to work every day.
So that's another good segue. What's the relationship between the full-time staff in the Berkeley office? I think you told me that there are about 30 full-time staff and 600 workers working around the world. And I want to ask specifically in terms of the labor relation, how are staff in the Berkeley office managing the crowd? And then how much does full-time staff get paid, and how does that compare to how workers get paid?
That's a really good question. One of the biggest contrasts between a full-time worker and our workforce is that, according to American law, there's some very stringent rules about providing health coverage, which is a very big cost. So there's the big thing that distinguishes a member of the workforce from an employee in the Berkeley office is wage versus salary. In America, that's hourly compensation versus annual compensation. And full coverage health insurance, which is something that, given that our workforce is largely international, is something that's a lot harder to provide, period. or guarantee. So that's something we try to make up for with our wage-based compensation.
So you said earlier that there are people in the workforce that are making a living as mobile works workers. So I have a personal question. I hope that's okay. Yeah. If you have kids, or if you have younger siblings, or if you have neighbors' kids that you know of, how happy would you be having those people be full-time workers in the mobile works workforce? I'm sorry, the LeadGenius workforce.
Sure. LeadGenius, sorry. I'd feel good about it. One of the interesting phenomenons of how young LeadGenius is as a company is that the team hierarchies adopt to the projects. So we have many different clients who have very different demands. Mm-hmm. And on a per client basis, the teams have a lot of sovereignty about what are the outcomes and who takes on which roles. So in that manner, family members, friends, I would be happy to have them be members of our workforce.
Great, thank you.